Welcome back. A new survey from Emerson College and The Hill shows former President Trump beating President Biden in 6 key swing states. Trump is up 4 points in Arizona, 4 points in Georgia, 3 points in Nevada, 3 points in Wisconsin, 2 points in Pennsylvania, and he's up 1 point in Michigan. The poll also finds Trump and Biden in a dead heat, even in traditionally blue Minnesota. The results of the survey coming after Trump's New York criminal trial. Meanwhile, a Siena College poll has Biden beating Trump by just single digits in deep blue New York. Biden won the Empire State by 23 points in 2020. Trump currently trails Biden by 8 now and is being boosted by both Jewish and black voters in New York. A Des Moines Register poll finds former President Trump leading Biden by 18 points in Iowa, meanwhile, which was once a swing state. Obama won Iowa in both 2008 and 2012. Joining me now is Iowa Congressman Zach Nunn, a member of the House Financial Services Committee and the Four Country Caucus. He is also a newly minted U.S. Air Force full bird colonel. Congressman, congratulations on the promotion. This is phenomenal news, and we so appreciate your service to our great country. I want to get into that in a moment, but first, what do you make of these polls where Trump is beating Biden in the swing states, and you've got these deep blue areas, which actually Trump is quite competitive in?
Yeah, Maria, you're absolutely correct here. Iowa has traditionally been a swing state. Just 4 years ago, we were 75% Democrat in our congressional makeup. We are now 100% Republican. The first time this has happened since the Eisenhower administration. And I think it's a direct reflection of what we've seen in the last 3 years under this Biden administration. Folks here in Iowa had the last day of the Trump administration could fill up their, truck with a gallon of gas at $1.63. It's up to over $3 now. I've got a family of 6, and, filling up that minivan, buying a gallon of milk, let alone a pound of bacon here, is costing every Iowa family more than $15,000 a year. You add on top of this, we have 8 million illegal immigrants who have come into this country in the last 3 years alone. We just seized 35,000 fentanyl pills south of Des Moines. That's enough to wipe out the entire city of Des Moines. This is a weapon of mass destruction. And you have a slave labor train being brought in from all over the world, 177 countries, all because of President Biden, who has failed to act. So this is much an endorsement of Donald Trump as it is a repudiation of the failed policies of the Biden administration and their complete lack of ability to help everyday Americans have a better life, a safer life, and secure our country. So in my mind, this isn't just a red or blue issue. This is an American issue of folks who are tired of a government that is failing them coming out of the White House.
Well, I mean, look what's happening right now. In the last just couple of weeks, we're really seeing the impact of illegal criminals in this country. This really speaks to the unknowns at the open border. It's not that Americans don't want immigration. They want legal immigration. But look what's going on with the illegal migrants. Illegal migrant crime exploding across the United States. A migrant from Ecuador charged with raping a 13-year-old girl in New York City, in Queens, in a Queens Park. And then in Houston, 2 migrants from Venezuela charged with killing a 12-year-old girl. Border Patrol reportedly released one of those migrants just last month. And then the migrant from El Salvador arrested for the murder of the Maryland mother, Rachel Morin. Former President Trump spoke to Morin's family yesterday after the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas failed to mention her name. He couldn't even mention her name in an interview earlier this week. 3 Honduran and 2 Mexican migrants were arrested in the kidnapping of a 14-year-old Indiana girl. And then there's the Chinese migrant wanted for murder in Los Angeles. He was arrested while attempting to cross the San Diego border. Even with all of these devastating stories, a federal judge is ruling against Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds' new law that made it illegal for migrants who've been deported or denied entry into the United States to enter Iowa. The judge ruled that the law was unconstitutional. The Biden administration has sued Iowa over the law, and Governor Reynolds is vowing to appeal the decision. Congressman, what's your take on all of this?
Well, first, a huge salute to our governor here in Iowa, Governor Reynolds, who has sent our National Guard to the front line at the southern border. I've been part of that mobilization. I've helped command troops in that situation. Additionally, we have a federal government who's more intent on spending money trying to sue states than actually using that money to help pay Customs and Border Patrol the overtime they so desperately need to secure our border, to close the wall, things President Biden could do today to remain in Mexico in catch and release. the same kind of things he's failed to do that have resulted in, sadly, the death of Iowans like Molly Tibbetts, who were killed by illegals who entered the country. And if the federal government can't, won't, or refuses to do its job, allowing our local law enforcement officers to at least protect our country when folks who have been legally detained and then aren't being kicked out of the country even when they're supposed to be, these now become our frontline defenders. I was able to get bipartisan legislation through the House of Representatives calling into question here how much money it's costing our local law enforcement for the enforcement, not to mention the deadly fentanyl scourge that is coming from the southern border, killing 150 Americans a day. This is truly a national crisis being left unanswered. I salute our folks here in Iowa for doing the right thing. I've led the charge in Congress with H.R. 2, one of the first bills that I passed in my opening days as a freshman member in Congress, to shut the border and secure our country. But any bill passed isn't going to be able to be achieved if the president refuses to enforce them, or even worse, if the president comes after good states like Iowa who are trying to do the right thing to protect legal immigrants, but most importantly, protect U.S. citizens who are under siege in places right here in the heart of the heartland.
Yeah, all the more reason to appreciate and cherish you and all of the incredibly courageous men and women who defend our freedom in this great country. Congressman, this month you were promoted to the rank of colonel in the U.S. Air Force. You've served our country for 20 years, including recon missions off of the coasts of Russia and China. Following 9/11, you were deployed to the Middle East 3 times, where you were part of a combat operations to rescue special forces in Afghanistan. Tell us about the importance of receiving this rank, and congratulations again.
Well, Maria, first of all, thank you very much. Nobody earns these ranks in a vacuum. This is a direct reflection of the men and women who I've been able to serve with over the past several decades. It's a reflection of the fact that America delivers some of the best security in the world. We are not only peace through strength, but we also have men and women who are willing to put themselves on the front line for their country. I'm honored to get to serve with other men and women of both ranks in Congress. We are mission focused. It gives us the opportunity to really deliver on things like we just put into this year's National Defense Authorization. My bill that was led for Adam Lambert, a guy from Iowa who fought in Afghanistan, came back home, but lost his life to suicide. We're losing 22 veterans a day in this, and this bill really moves forward to help folks like Adam Lambert be able to have the mental health access and stop suicide for our veterans going forward. We were able to get 3 more bills in, quite an accomplishment for a freshman, let alone moving forward our NDAA, helping junior enlisted receive the pay increase that they deserve, making sure that we're fighting back against China in something called the Clarity Act to stop them from stealing our technology, but also reaching out to our public-private sector innovators to say we can fight wars more intelligently with lower loss of life through a partnership with Israel and with our tech sector. All of those were included. I'm proud to be able to pass those bills, but I'm also honored to get to serve with just a handful of members of Congress who are still serving in a reserve or guard capacity, something we haven't seen, frankly, since the end of World War II. We need more veterans who are serving our country.
It's an amazing list of accomplishments, and we're all proud. Thomas, jump in here for a moment on all of these issues we're talking about, because the agenda is out there for everyone to see 5 months before the election, and now we're talking about murder when it comes to these illegal migrants coming in.
Yeah, very much. And also you mentioned his Biden's polling in the United States. Well, I think also it's very interesting to think about his reputation around the world. We just saw at the G7 him staggering around in front of the world's media. You know, this is what is really showing America up on the stage. And what do we see straight afterwards? Putin goes to North Korea. Can you imagine Putin visiting North Korea under Trump? He wouldn't have done it. So I think America's enemies around the world are really taking advantage of this situation. And I think we need Trump to come back as soon as possible.
Yeah, we need our military and our courageous men and women more than ever. Congressman Zach Nunn, thanks very much. Congrats to you, and we will catch up soon. Thank you, sir. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Maria.